Hello everyone, it's me, your Daddy Spoon, King of Wakanda. I'm back with another ultimate random guide tutorials. Today I'm gonna be featuring the sixth map in this series, which is Hotspot. Hotspot is being known and it's one of the oldest maps in World of Warships. It's extremely good map, one of my favorites. A lot of community do like the map. It's very well balanced. Also, it like fits perfectly for the three main classes, which are destroyers, cruisers, and BBs. You can make everything work on this map. So today we're gonna be doing some approaches tutorial. What do you need to do exactly if you spawn like north or south, 9, 10, or 1 to line. So we're gonna start with destroyers as usual. So we start with destroyers, one of my main. I like destroyers a lot, and in Hotspot you need to understand your role in ADD. So if you play Hotspot and you're in if you play ADD and the matchmaking decides to give you Hotspot, okay, and you spawn in 1 2 line, okay, from north or south. So again, flank, that's so important. Don't leave your flank. This is the approach you need to do. This is the approach you need to do. Consider that in ADD. Okay, there's two main reasons for that. A, most DDs are 6 km concealments, right? So this is the initial plan about it, why 6 km is important. Not this one, sorry. Why 6 km is important. So let's say 6 km, okay? That's like Hydro, a lot of DDs have the same, maybe Shima gearing, but yeah, a lot of you get the point. So if you have 6 km concealment in your DD, and if you try to do this approach, you see this is a blind spot. If a DD managed to sneak through on your flank, same from south or north, you are pretty much dead, because you will lose space and people will gain ground on you, and your flank and your BBs will run away with cruisers. But if you do this approach, that's why the approach is really important. You see the 6 km and moving, and voila, you see these gaps, these blind spots on 1 2 line, they are perfectly covered. So there's no DD is gonna sneak like this, absolutely no way, because you're doing like the safest approach. Why don't you do this? It's same from the other spawn. Like you spawn here, you see, if you do this, you see this entire area is like not secured, it's exposed to the enemy. But if you do the approach like this, if you do this approach, you see, no one can sneak, no DD can do this, because you're literally holding the 1 2 line. No DD can sneak. But if you do this, let's say you do this, okay, let's say you do this and you turn out, it's really bad, because if there's a radar cruiser there, you're pretty much dead, because the island provides significant cover for like stealth cruisers, so you will get caught and you will be dead. Also, the DD can sneak on you. That's the problem. He can always sneak on you, something you don't want to do. So always consider this. Cover it. Make sure the concealment covers the border so nothing can sneak on you. Remember that. Okay, so these are the bad approaches in a DD, which I just showed you. You don't want to do this. This is wait, let's highlight it in red. This is very bad. This is really, 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 really bad in a DD. You never know what's on the other side until it's too late. For example, if you do this approach, you can see a cruiser from here, right? You can see a cruiser from here approaching. So you have time to maneuver and run away, because you won't be stealth radar. But if you do this approach and there's a cruiser 5 km, 6, mostly 5 6 from this, or even like less actually, I mean, depends on which cruiser you're facing, you are initially dead. Yeah, I mean, he's in your face, you lose HP, not to mention the fire support system from his allies, and then you try to kite away, you pop a radar, you're dead, because you're way too close, and there is no time for you to maneuver. He basically ambushed you like that. So this approach in ADD, it's really bad. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's really bad. A lot of DDs also do this, the insta go for the cap, which is something you don't want to do. If there's like 3 DDs, fuck the cap, just secure your 1 2 line, because if you go to the cap, right, and let's say something blocking it, let's say cruiser BB blocking the cap there, and you're blocking it as well, so that 1 2 minutes from like both sides blocking the cap, that's 2 minutes for the enemy DD to gain space and ground on you. He dev struck like let's say a battleship, then he smokes here while you're like sitting there, but probably Hydro the radar, then he smokes and just shoot you and kills you. Same from the other side. You stop here, you're Hydroed from the south spawn, and EDD like goes here, smokes, and just shoot you, and you're dead. So don't do that. There's like certain like there's certain situation in this scenario. Again, if there's two DDs, like one DD, you take the flank while the other one goes to block it, because that DD is secure. Like he knows his back is secured from from his allied destroyer. But if you're the only DD, don't go for the cap. Just take the flank, spot as much as you can, because spotting is so important in World of Warships. Spot as much as you can, and after that, if you kill that DD there, right? If let's say you kill the DD, like, and let's say like both of you smoked, but you had an ally cruiser with a radar. He radars, you kill a DD. That cruiser alone can go and block the cap without the need of you to come back, and then you can keep gaining space, if you know what I mean. So if you go to the cap, that's really bad. Please don't do it. Like a lot of people do these rookie mistakes. Like it will get you killed and you will lose your flank. If you lose your flank initially, that's like 50% loss. 50% loss. So let's say your team is magically winning the other side, because I don't know, like the enemy team did the same mistake like you guys did on this flank. So it's like a 50-50. But if you lose a flank, it's really like a 50-50 chance, and it can change real quick to like almost 90% loss. So remember that flanks are important. Okay, so again, if you have two DDs, if you're playing like two DDs, one here, so one goes to the flank, one goes here, one goes to the flank, and one tries to block. Guys, this position is good here. If you have like daring, vampire, Z52, 42, anything with 6 kilometer hydro, 6 kilometer hydro is extremely good there. Really powerful. I will demonstrate it in a second. This is what a 6 kilometer hydro look like. Basically, you cover the entire map, the entire cap. Sorry, you cover the entire cap. Same from the north side. This is what a 6 kilometer look like from there, if you're hiding behind the island there. And remember, don't stay bow in here. Huh? Don't stay bow in. People can mong on you and you will die. So always consider an exit plan. Go this and turn away. I will show you it so you guys don't get confused. Guys, I don't want the boys to get confused. This is what you need to do. Do this and do this, okay? Always as in. So if someone wants to mong, you can extract yourself. If you're bow in, you're stuck. Same from the other side. Do this. And you're ready to run away. You can reverse smoke torp, you know, reverse smoke torp. But if you're bow in, you are dead, because people can always do shenanigans on you. Remember that. And not to mention the risk of middle, like this is what a lot of DDs do in torps. And if you're like there, you might have because if you're as in, you have better acceleration, because you can, you know, just accelerate faster than reversing. Because if you accelerate, you can reach 30 knots in like 3 seconds or even more. But if you're reversing, max reversing speed is like probably 11-12 knots reversing, so you don't have much speed to maneuver in the first place. So always as in, and you have much time to react, so remember that. Okay, so these are the destroyer gameplay in A. Hope you guys get the point. So we remove these so you guys don't get confused. Okay, perfect. You're spawning in the DD in middle, right? So you have two options. If there's only one DD, you have RPF. That's why I recommend highly RPF on destroyers. It's really good, free info. You can always mirror. Let's say you're playing a middle. You're going like here. Let's say RPF there. You can do this. You can do this, or you can do this. This is situational. This only applies for hybrids. Let's say not hybrids actually, but something without hydro. Shima, Gearing, Alivero, Marceau, Kleber. You don't want to go to this island. This island, it's not safe whatsoever, because if there's hydro or radar from here, usually there's cruisers with radar here, and you're sitting behind that island. There's so many line of sight, and there's so many angles people can lob on you. They will have angles to lob on you. Remember that if you're there. It's better to stay on the edge, because the radar there won't reach the edge. It's really protected. Cruisers don't play here, neither here. So if like there's an RPF on the right side, you can do this. Also can do this. So the radar can tag you. This is what the radar would look like. As a DD, always consider what the radar would look like. You see? No, sorry, 1 second. 10 kilometer. You see? That's a blind spot. That's a blind spot. Only like the Russians with 12, but still, I mean, you have enough space to maneuver. Let's say if you have a Moskva 12 here, it's not that big of a deal. Like you're on the edge almost, you can dodge first salvo and leave the radars. It's not a problem whatsoever. So, but if you're here, look, you're kind of deep. Same applies from the northbound. Like if you're here, you see, like let's say Minnow, Des Moines, there's a lot of 10s so, and 9s. You have this free. You see, this is a blind gap. So blind spot, you can always like play and maneuver safely here without the need of you being in a radar cruiser. The 12 usually cover it because we did play this in COTS. It covers it from there. Let's remove this. Only 1 second, so you guys don't get confused. This is what the 12 look like. As you can see, almost the same as the other, but you have like enough space. As you can see, it's not that big of a deal. Like almost 1 kilometer. You can like close it in no time, and you can dodge, so it's not a big of a deal. If they're selling Petro Moskva, it's not that of a problem compared if you're here. So if you're here, that's more like of a deadly trap. To see you're really deep if he's here as well. So try not to do that. See, if you're like here, look at the space the 12 covers. So not recommended. So again, if it's only 1 DD, you're playing Shima, Gearing, Galivaro, Chrom, don't dive here. What dives here is Hydro DDs. Hydro DDs can apply extreme pressure on the cap, and they can win the cap for free if they want to. This is what a 6 kilometer Hydro would look like from there. As you can see, 6. That's the 6, and let's put the 5. This is the 5 from a Vampire. You see, the entire cap is perma-hydrate. Especially the 6. The 6 is much better. So if you're playing like, let's say, Shima, Gearing again, Trump, Alvaro, Kleber, Marceau, anything that doesn't have the technology of the Hydro, you don't want to commit. Because if you commit, you're dead. You're probably hydroed for approximately like 3 minutes, if not 4. So also in a daring, you don't want to commit there. Yeah, you have the Hydro, but still, it's kind of risky, very risky. And people can like take an angle, smoke, and shoot you. You're forced to go forward in the mouth of a cruiser or a BB. Not recommended. Always stay on the edges. However, if you press tab and you see that you're like playing Z42 or 52 or a Vampire and they have a Shima, you go more Gearing. Yeah, you can do that because there is not that big of a risk. But always consider the cruiser, the radar cruisers, and the enemy DDs. Which DDs are threat to you and which not. Like Small and Gdansk, always consider that. I'm just pointing the Hydros right now because they're really good in this map. They're really good. HOTSPOT is one of the best maps, like I said, for DDs, extremely good. So yeah, you just keep your an exit plan. You don't want to commit here if you're not a Hydro DD. If you are a Hydro DD, you can commit there. Consider the radars and consider the enemy DDs. Really important. This is really bad approach. A lot of people do this. I see a lot of people do this. This is the most dumbest shit. Please don't do it. Because if there's RPF, okay, let's remove the 6 kilometer Hydro so people don't get confused. This is dumb as fuck. Why? Okay, there's 2 options. Option A, like I showed you what the 10 kilometer 12 radar would look like from here, is cover the entire thing. And second of all, the terrain. This island will block you. You're not maneuverable. Yeah, you're doing this, right? You can turn away randomly because you will beach. You will be dead on the water and you will die. You don't do that. Don't do that. And if you keep sailing, that's even worse. You're going to them, to their mouth, which is like even worse. Same from here. Like, are you gonna try to achieve this? This is really shit. Please don't do it. This is really bad. You will die. Like, you won't even reach here. You will just die here. You see this square? You will die in this square before you even make it. So please don't do it, please. A lot of people do it. It's a mistake, a really bad mistake. Same from the 6-7. People try to go here, like not knowing what's there. Like cruisers play around this island, by the way. You know, cruisers plays around this island, and this island. And you're there 4 kilometers away from a cruiser. Not to mention the DDs already. Don't do this approach, guys. It's really bad. Always do the green one. You have an exit plan. Even if they radar you, you're like perfectly safe. And again, that's why you don't want to do this approach. I'm going to show you why, because from this side, this is again what the 10 kilometer look like. So consider this a 10 kilometer lasting for a minute, and you're doing this. Do you think you're going to survive? No, you're not going to survive. You'll just be dead. So don't do this approach. It's really bad. It's really bad. Same for here. Look at this. You try to do this. You try to, okay, let's put it, yeah, from the north. You try, look at the space. Look at the space, man. Even if you kite, you'll be still radar. And again, the islands will cuck you. There is no cover here. Either you panic, you beach, and you die, or you just keep trying to avoid, and you will die. There is no escape from death there. Same from the north. Look at the north. If a DD tries to commit like this, even if you like commit through the thunder and try to kite, you're really deep in the radar range. There is no escape for you. Again, please don't do the red approaches. They are the most dumbest shit, and they will get you killed, and eventually you will lose the game for your team. So please don't do it. Like, just don't do it. And yeah, thank you, guys. So now we're gonna go for DDs on the 910 from the north and the south. If you play DD, usually again you do this, and you spawn here, you do this. You don't want to do this approach. It's really bad. You never know what's on the other side. You probably will get caught, so don't do this. It's really bad, because if a cruiser, stealth cruiser with a smoke, I mean, you just die. So it's better to take the flank. You know, you have more time to maneuver, and you can spot deeper. So if there's like a 10 kilometer and you're already like turning, prepared to turn, that demon will never like radar you, or Salem, or even a minnow stealth minnow. You can always extract yourself, because you're already like, the approach is so good. Like, the moment you get ready, you just turn in, he will never hit you. Even if he hits you, like minimum damage 2k max, especially if you're wiggling. So consider that. I'm sorry, I mean, this map is taken a lot because there's so many approaches, so many like gameplay, so you need to think about your overall gameplay. Again, you don't want to do the red, it's really bad. The green one applies if there's two DDs here. You can do this, hide there. You can do this and hide here. Okay, you can do this and this. If you only do this, if there's one DD, also from north, one DD here, one DD here, you can do that. But if you're the only destroyer, do not commit. This is bad. I'm gonna show you something. This is really bad. If you spawn here and you do this, if you spawn like this and you do this, it's really bad. You just lost. You see this cube? This entire cube is lost. It's just lost. Just because your DD left you, you have no spotting. You will be spotted 24/7, probably no Zen diving, while there is a DD spotting you. The moment you try to turn out or turn in, there is like probably stealth BBs or cruisers waiting for you to fuck up and turn. The moment you turn, you lose half of your HP, just because that DD left away and there's a DD there. And not to mention, if that DD is a Shima YY with torpedo reload or Yugomo, or like a lot of Yamagiri coming, you're just dead. You're really dead. So if you're the only DD on 910, do not go for the cap immediately. The cap can wait, the flank cannot. If you lose your flank, you will be zoned out. You'll be like running away. You'll be, sorry, I'll show it. Like, you'll be running away, losing space, running away, and people will just like win this entire thing for them. Again, applies from north or south. Just because that one random DD decided to go for the cap. Yeah, you get the cap. You get the cap, then what? You get the cap, you're forced to leave because they won the 910, so they will step on the cap, and you're forced to leave further because, you know, they're winning space, right? They're winning space. So this might be a bit complicated, so let's make it a bit clean. So they want this, right? They want this, and you're like the DD here. So who just went here? So you're leaving, and they keep pushing, right? They're pushing. Sorry, not from there. Yeah, I mean from north or south. They're pushing, right? They're pushing, and as a DD, you're forced to run away. Same like here, and they're winning the cap, right? They want the cap, and they keep pushing. So, and they want this space as well. They're pushing and they want this space. Again, this applies from north and south. So again, just because you left 910, you lost 910 and probably a ship or two, and you lost the cap. You can never get the cap because they're zoning you out, and probably you will find resistance in B, which is something you don't want to do. And just because of that, you just lost the game. 90% of the time, you lost the game because of that. So don't do it. It's a rookie mistake. Again, remember, go to the flank. Secure your flank first. The cap can wait. The flank cannot. Secure your flank. After that, you can do whatever you want. You can either push, torp, or you can like go through the cap after you kill DDD and get the cap, and then keep going to B, you know, reinforce B, and then you can play around caps. That's what I usually do in my DD gameplay. Give it a try or a thought, and Let me know in the comments if this actually helps you or it's making your game play a bit easier. So we switch to cruisers right now. This is a cruiser. If you play Des Moines, Moskva, Stalin, Petro, this is what you want to do. You want to dive here. You don't want to go to the right side. You want to go to the left to secure your flank, same as here. If you're a Des Moines, Salem, Worcester, Menu, you don't want to play in the open. This applies for Henry, Zhao, Hindi, Commissar, Cyprus. This applies for them. If you're like a Bowen, Anchor, Radar, your Radar is important around the cap, because if you play Radar here, it blocks the 9-10. Remember when I said the DD blocks the 1-2 just by the concealment? Now a cruiser added to that will actually block the cap for you. This is what a 10 kilometer, yeah, you see, you have the Radar around the 1-2 if your DD is low enough or he is dead, so you still have the Radar. That's like a plan B. If your DD die on 1-2, you still have contingency plan. You still have like plan B. You still have your Radar, so nothing can sneak up on you, and you still have the cap under Radar coverage for a minute probably if you're a Minnow, Worcester, or a Des Moines, or a Salem, because they have one of the longest Radar duration. Same goes for the north. If you're here, you still have 1-2 under control, and this is not even like, you know, peaking, because if you peak, you can have further Radar. This is just 10. 12 will be even better. So yeah, consider this really powerful positions for Emeno, Worcester, Des Moines, and Salem, Moskva, Petro, and Stalingrad. If you play Jenin, if you play Cerberus, Commissar, Hindi, Zhao, Henry, probably Marcel, but I prefer to play close quarters in Marcel. Yeah, so you can play 1-2 because you can lob and farm the dude that is. So let's remove this. The dude that's sitting there and the dude that's sitting there. You see, this game is more like everything is countering everything, right? So you go there, you have the Radar to cover 1-2, and in this case you need to reverse to avoid this guy. You can shoot him, but he can shoot you back. That's the beauty about World of Warship. There's always something countering something. See? So just because you're there doesn't mean you're like invincible. Remember what can shoot you and what cannot. Even if a BB goes there, they will have a crossfire on you. So you need to hug that island extremely well, and you need to know when to peek and when to open up and when not. For example, if there's a Monty there engaging on Montana, you don't have to shoot him if you're like 10k, right? Wait for him to open up on the or your ally Montana. So that's like 30 seconds for you. In that 30 seconds, the moment you open up, you can shoot. And you can reverse and be in cover and use your ally Montana to have line of sight on him. And then like you wait if you're spotted, you know, just shoot and then wait. The moment like he looks at you, you should be dark. Well, he's not going to be taking damage without shooting back. Again, he's going to shoot your ally and then you can open up. Remember, it's always about the time and the calculation. Okay, that's a Radar. Let's remove it there. That's a cruiser approach. You can do this as well, but I don't like their position here. It's kind of good, but not that good. Especially from north, it's better than the south. I mean, you have the gap, but you need to be careful. If you spawn, you do this. Very good. You can either peek here or peek here, up to you. Like, you need to consider what you're facing. Again, the 10 kilometer coverage Radar is extremely good. You see, you can almost have both caps under Radar coverage, which is extremely good from north and south, and this is the 10 kilometer. And remember the gaps, the blind spot and the gaps for DDs. This is the beauty about the World of Warships. Always find something and use it. Again, from the north, you see, the gaps. I mean, you can almost have both caps in control. With the 12, definitely. With the 10, you need to peek slightly. But yeah, this is what you need to do in a cruiser. You take right or left, you try to farm. Anchor, which is like you hold your ground, you have both caps under control, and you keep the Radar for your DDs if it's needed. So yeah, that's what I usually go in my cruiser gameplay. If you spawn like in, let's say, not a Radar cruiser, you probably want to play open water. You don't want to commit to an island. You can like play here, you know, kiting and farming, shooting people who are approaching like this, because when you spawn in middle, you go like this. That's a lot of people do, but you need to be careful. In a cruiser, you don't want to commit like this. It's really dumb, it's really bad, so you just die. If you do this in a cruiser, you die. Remember that. And always consider the enemies. You need to understand who can counter you and what is your biggest threat. Like, remove BBs aside. There's BBs that they are not even a threat, like Turpis, Bismarck, They don't have the pen, neither the caliber, to overmatch you. So, or like Wojing, Alsace. There's some BBs that are not that scary enough, if you know what I mean. So yeah, you just do the safe approach. Like you can do this. If you spawn here, you can do this as well. This position is good in a cruiser, but you need to play around islands afterwards. You can spawn here and hold. Again, this is why the 10-kilometer radar coverage, is effective. You have the C under control and half of B under control. This is the 10, not the 12. Same from the north spawn. It's really, really, really good. As you can see, you have the radar from the north. You can support your DDs. You can play around islands. You can dive. Consider like if you have a try to time it right, and if you push around the caps, because C is really good. You have so many islands. You can lob on people. They can shoot back most of the time, and you can zone people out. They're just forced to run away. So always consider that in your cruiser gameplay. If you're playing Zhao, again, Henry, all the kiters, the HE, long spammers, Nevsky, you don't want to commit because you would rather play in the open. So you do this as same, try to lob, shoot. Same from here, try to support your DD. If you have the stealth like a Zhao, for example, try to help your DD that is going to engage the enemy DD. Or if you're Raider, try to play here. Moskva, Petro, Stalin. You need to be careful in Moskva because it's going to be spotted from the moon. And you don't want to just die. This is bad in a Moskva. You need to do this if you spawn in a Moskva. This is what you need to do if you spawn in a Moskva. 1 second. Because you're spotted really, really like 1 second. You do this in a Moskva if you spawn like this. Because you see this? They will shoot you. You're first to turn in. And then you try to turn back and they will shoot you and you're first to turn in. And voila. Just like that, you're in their mouth. 10 kilometers away from a BB or a cruiser, and you can't just go back to the island. You will just die. Not to mention Topes, HE spammers, Smolensk, wherever. So yeah, go to the safe approach, which is like this. Same if you spawn like here, do this. I mean, it's not recommended, but I preferably like this. That this island is very, very well protected. Again, if you're a Moskva, Petro, Stalin, try to do this. If you're like a Des Moines, Colbert, like Austin, the stealthy cruisers, you can play around the islands here. You can play around them because you have the concealment to set an ambush. But in the mostly in the Soviets or like Frenchies, Henrys, 13 kilometer or Hindi, you can't like just dive in. You lose a lot of HP because BB will be looking at you. These are the approaches. So if you're playing a cruiser on 910 right now, you don't wanna go wide. I mean, your DD will, but if you're playing Des Moines, Salem, Minnow, Worcester, Colbert, Austin, Smolensk, you have so many options. You do this, you insert, because this island is one of the best islands in the game. It's really good, especially from north, because you see this gap, like this space here, it's so low. Like you can lob on people, but they can't probably see you, especially if you're DD zoning the enemy DD out. From the north, this side is not so protected though. You can lob, but it's not so protected. It's really good again, but it's mostly depends on your DD, because if your DD dies there, you are fucked. Why? Because from the north, if your DD is dead, you can afford to reverse. You can afford to reverse because the island ship, you see the island ship, it like takes you back. If you keep reversing, it takes you back to the cap. On this, on the other hand, you're like forced to reverse as in and straightly, like mostly in a straight line. So there is no room for you. You will be spotted. But in a DD, that's the beauty about it, about North. If you lose your DD and the DD goes to spot you, you have the radar first of all, and second of all, you're reversing and the island will shield you. Like this island covers you if you reverse like fast and long enough. But from the north it doesn't, because if people gets like an angle on you, they will be able to shoot you. But if people are here, they won't be able to shoot you. That's the thing, they can't shoot you because this island is so big. They need to commit here basically to have line of sight. That's why I really like the North Island. It's really good for especially Des Moines and Salem. This island is so good. It's so good for a cruiser. Try to hold it like I said. So from the north, this is what I usually do. If I spawn, I do this. I sin, and then I reverse. And then I reverse, and try to farm with the island. So if my DD somehow collapse, I'm already like, ready to hold and sit here, or try to go here, or go back in, or like kite away. I have so many options. That's like, it's only, this only applies from the north. This only applies from the north spawn. Like from the south, you don't have to do this because again, you can just reverse, and this island will provide the cover you need. From the north, it doesn't. So remember that. Remember that. If you're playing again, Dimon, Salem, Moskva, like the anchors, the Bowen cruisers with a radar, you really don't wanna go 910. You wanna mostly hold here because your radar is extremely effective and extremely really good. You see the 10 kilometer, so nothing can sneak on you. That's really good. No one, like, that's when I said DD can do this. Even if he does it while you don't have your radar, you can still just reverse. You can reverse, and your radar is like almost around the cap to provide the support for C cap. Same from the north. This is what the radar. I mean, you do this in a radar, right? And then you start reversing. You have the cap almost under control, and you still have 910, so no one can sneak. If your DD randomly dies or take a tops, you never know the outcome. And you can move again and take it to C. So we have options. This is the 10 kilometer. The 12 is even scarier on 910, by the way, especially in Moscow there is no joke. It's very large and very deep. This is what the 12 look like on a Moscow, Stalingrad, and a Petro. But again, the Moscow is a bigger threat. High DPM, extremely effective shares, and really scary boat, especially for destroyers. The velocity and the pen is crazy. So yeah, this is a 12. Consider that. This is a 12 kilometer for a cruiser. And yeah, you can all. I mean, you can reverse to the edge, and you still have radar around C. So that's really good. Okay, we switch to BBs. Let's remove these so you guys don't get confused. Okay, so BBs. BBs, if you play like a BB here, again, you want to go to the flank, so you can lob on this dude who's gonna dive, especially with your DD Torpenham. And if you spawn from north, you do this, so you can shoot that cruiser who's gonna dive like this. Again, everything is countering everything. That's the beauty about the World of Warships. Always like have a way to counter something. I mean, it's a think and man action game, so think, guys, think. You go in a BB, you don't want to commit here. It's dumb because you won't have a crossfire. You're behind the island. Also, this applies. You can do this in a certain situation. Like if there's a sub, if I can double DD there, let's say Jen, you don't want to play in the open, or you play extremely passive, because you will be pinged and most likely you'll be torped and spammed, so it might not work the way you want it to work. So going behind the island might not be that bad of an option, but again, you need to see what are you facing and what are you dealing with and what is your bigger threat. So you go to the flank, you shoot. It's really good. You don't want to do this approach. I see a lot of BBs do this. It's really dumb and really stupid, or they do this and try to turn. Like, you don't want to do this. First, there's like, remember DD, they can always like torp the channel and you're spotted, and you give him broadside like this. People can shoot you from here and people can shoot you from here, and that BB in middle can always have a crossfire on you. So you doing this, it's really bad, so don't do it, please. It's just like not the best play in a BB. So yeah, we know the BB goes flank on 1-2. Remember, flanks are so important. Never leave your flank. Sorry, I can't even ping anymore. Okay. BB mid BB position. Again, you do this, or you do this. You probably wanna like do this, so you wanna see what are you facing, because this is the beauty about it. If there's, you see that, remember that cruiser when I told you might be diving? If he's spotted somehow, let's say by a CV or a DDD, you can have the crossfire on him, you see? And with that BB in middle, sorry, not with this BB, I mean, if he's moving like this, he can have the crossfire, you see? And that dude who is trying to dive might be in a pickle. Same from the south. If you're that cruiser doing this, and that BB is here, creating the crossfire, with the other BB who's going. I mean, you need to calculate your time, because the volcano here, it might block your shot. So you can have the crossfire you need on the dude who's diving. And you see, it's like a triangle, man. It's so good. Like, you just need to see it in a chess perspective. Like, everything is countering everything. So yeah, that cruiser is diving. You will probably either die or lose a lot of HP early game, which is something you don't want to do in a cruiser. You want to reserve your HP as much as you can, as a late game it's very important. So yeah, you create your crossfire. You, even if you can shoot this, you can just, you know, shoot these guys. Same, you can shoot this, whoever is diving. Like, it's just like really good. Like, everyone is like shooting everyone, and you have the crossfires. You don't want to commit in a BB. You don't want to do this, just bad. You will be way too close and you lose a lot of HP. This is bad. Always play like G, you know, you're close enough, you can provide the support you need for your DD and your cruisers, but you're not too deep. Also, don't do this. I mean, a DD won't survive, let alone a BB. Like, just don't do this. Just bad. Also, don't press fucking W in middle. I mean, why would you do that? Why would you just press W in middle and, let's say, in Schlieve and GK just to die in the first 30 seconds of the game? Because tier 10 is no joke. Like, there's a lot of DPM, a lot of scary ships, so don't do that, please. And thank you for understanding. If you spawn on 9-10, again, 9-10, you play BB here. You have to, if there's two BBs, one goes here and one goes here, same, like one goes here as Sin, ready to crossfire, the other goes 1-2. You have an extremely good crossfire, really good crossfire, because the BB here, let's say Vermont or like Kremlin, Monty, Ohio, you can shoot that cruiser, while the BB there can shoot the cruiser who dived there. You see, again, everyone can shoot everyone. And then if the, let's say Jenin or Reza or Henry try to turn out, this BB can put him in a crossfire with the other BB. Same for the north and south. If you spawn like close as a BB, if you spawn like here and there's a BB there, you can do this because it's really good. If you're here in a BB, you can achieve certain things. This like 7-8 line, anything tries to move, let's say cruiser, BB, there's so many islands, most likely won't be spotted. That's the beauty about C cap. It's by far the best cap in the map. There's so many islands and you can lob on people without them even seeing you, because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 11 island. And you can, if there is no like CV, you can do wonders here. You can just lob on people. They won't even see the shells coming. They won't see them coming. And you can like punish a lot of broadsides, especially if like a Moscow or a Petro just sailing like this, you know, you never know what's gonna happen, or a Henry or anything broadside, like anything broadside, you can punish it, just punish it. If you're playing Schlieve and GK or like secondary BB, don't do this. This approach is extremely dumb, extremely bad. You just die. Again, we have a DD here who's probably torping you. There's a cruiser DPM in you behind the island, and you cannot shoot him. You can shoot back on him because he can lob with the arcs, but you can't. And there's a BB waiting for you to make the turn. Not to mention, you see that BB who's here, I just mentioned, who can shoot you, and that cruiser who positioned here. You can always shoot you. If you have like an Austin Colbert here and you dive, you're dead. You're just dead. So don't do that. Don't do this approach. Like, the channel is extremely like deadly, especially in early game. Try, take your time and see what if you like unlock the 9-10, you can push to the cap, but early stage, don't do that. It's really bad. So again, we control this. You can do this in a BB as well. Sorry, because again, north is much better, because north you can dive here and you can lob on people. That's the beauty about it, especially if you have a div mate, the DD, who can zone things out. This BB can always lob for free without even spotted. That's the funny part about it. On north, you need to be ASIN. You can't stay by win like this spawn. You need to be ASIN because again, this island is not protected. That, I mean, the terrain is shit. So you think these are like low areas, gaps, but it's really bad. Like, you will be spotted. So it's probably to stay ready to kite, so you can disengage. You hold here, or you can repush here. You can go here. You can block here. You can move here, you can do this and stop here. You have so many options. What I'm showing right now is CB's COTS format in a BB if he needs to go to somewhere. You know, you don't do this in the open, you don't do this. Always go for an island after an island after an island. Because if you reserve your HP, it can be extremely effective. Apart from that, yeah. Also, you don't want to dive in a BB early game. It's just stupid. I mean, you're not playing CBs and Schliven. Even in CBs, people don't do that early game, because if you send like Schliven or GK, he will die for free. People will lob on him in 7v7, not to mention 12v12 in random. And let's not bring the CV technology with the sub, so don't do this in a BB. Just play the flanks, the objective. You can like have an extremely good games. Try these strats and tactics, and please let me know what you guys think about them. This is the sixth map of this series, Hotspot. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry, I mean, it's a really good map. I like it. It took like almost 40 minutes. I hope you guys bear it with me and watch it with me. And I will catch you on the seventh map. Feel free to come and watch me on slash .tv worldspawn. I'm streaming daily. You can always drop a like, comment, and a sub on the YouTube channel if you like what you're seeing. Thank you so much for your support. Stay cool, and I will catch you on the seventh map. King of Wakanda is out.